once people have had a chance to learn some ornaments and maybe work on a couple of the melodies for a few tunes, the most common question that I get at that point is, okay, where do I put the ornaments now that I've learned them? And it's a good question, and it's a tough one to answer just because a lot of that depends on personal style, and a lot of it depends on the tune too. So in this series, what we're going to do is go over a particular tune and a particular ornament and kind of cover where and why I picked the spot to put those ornaments in. So in this case, we're going to start with a tune called Gym Wards. It's a great common session jig. It's pretty simple because it pretty much stays on one octave on the flute or the whistle. It works great on either instrument. And we're going to cover the roll, which is everybody's kind of favorite ornament that they like to start off with. So I figured that'd be a good one to do for this lesson. So I'm going to play the first tune real quick, one A part and one B part, without any ornamentation, just so you can get the melody if you haven't heard it before. So Gym Wards. So that's the basic melody, and as you're listening to that, hopefully you've got a couple of ideas maybe where you might want to throw in a roll or some other ornaments yourself. But I'll kind of go over it again, more up-tempo, just as I would play it, but specifically listen for the rolls as we go through. So you can hear a couple of different things that I did. Specifically right off the bat, if you notice in the melody of the tune, you got this part where you're staying on the G for a bit. You get three notes right there, which is a perfectly good place for a roll. And so instead of that, you can do this. Now in the B part, you've got another good spot. So you're kind of staying on that A, so that's a good place for it as well. So you can do a couple of different ways with that, all centered around the roll. So I'm basically doing a roll followed by a cut in that case, or a roll followed by a tap. So there's a couple of different things you can do with that. And again, always look for good long spots like that where there's the tune is sitting on a particular note. And that's where you can drop in a roll or two. And again, make sure that you vary it up a little bit too. That's kind of the fun part about this style of music, is that you're not locked into playing a roll every time. It does sound good, but you don't always have to do it. So the first time I did the roll, second time I kind of held out that note and just put through a single tap. So there's a couple of different things you can do when you're faced with a spot like that. Start by throwing in a roll, and then start by mixing it up whenever you feel like it. So that's kind of where I do that. I've also, just to kind of cover a couple of other spots in here, when you get down to the E, the tune kind of held on that E. Sorry, the B part. So that part, you can play it either straight. A couple of different ways you can do it. And so there I'm basically kind of throwing in a bit of a cran with the tap on the end, and it's kind of making it up as I go along. So couple of spots like that are a little bit kind of up to you as you're playing it, really. And again, don't play it the same way every time if you don't feel like it. So, but it's a good couple of spots so you can work on them rolls. On the A. So make sure you just look for those spots where the melody of the tune is kind of sitting on a specific note, and that's a good place to throw in a roll.